Coming up on Blue Eye News.
We talk about how FFA helps the students.
We get creative with an AP Art student.
And we take a ride with the driving PSA.
All this and more coming up next on Blue Eye News. The Future Farmers of America, or the FFA, spend most of their time learning about agriculture.
They even get to show animals at competition. Here's Liam and Ava with more.
FFA is an organization that prepares students for careers in natural resources and agricultural science. Working with animals can be exciting yet challenging leading up to the livestock shows. Here's FFA member Sophia Osborne on her experience in the program.
So basically what you learn in FFA is just, everything to do with agriculture. You learn a lot about animals, just how to take care of them, and like the history of agriculture. I feel like FFA's changed me. It's made me a lot more outgoing, I feel like, because I remember my freshman year I wouldn't talk at all, ever, but now I can, speak in front. I'm better at public speaking and just being more outgoing in general. And then I've also learned a lot about how to take care of animals and just a whole bunch. And I made a lot of new friends too, so that's great. Well, basically what happens at a show is you have your animal that you've raised for a while now, and you go in there, and it depends on the animal, but for me, if I show sheep, I go in there and I'm basically just doing everything that you learn, you know what I mean? And they'll place you, and you get ribbons and awards and stuff like that. And you can get grand champion, which is first, and then reserve, which is second. And honestly, it's just a lot of fun. You get to hang out with your friends, and I like it a lot. I didn't really know what FFA was until I got into high school. I didn't really know what to expect, but I got in there and I really gotten involved, and it's a lot of fun. So I do recommend it to anyone, even if you don't want to be a vet. So.
Reporting for Blue Eye News, this has been Liam Schnell.
Speaking of farm animals, horses are another animal people are familiar with on the farm. Here's Caleb Brookall with more on the local equestrian center.
The North Texas Equestrian Center, which is located here in Wiley, is something that people of all ages can enjoy. They have riding lessons, horse training, and fun events. Their facility is one of many that people go to from all over the state. One of those people is Kai Hant, an instructor that teaches award-winning riders.
I've been riding since 1966, and I'm riding trained professional since 1979. We had the most successful U.S. horse at the London Olympics, and we just won 4 medals at the World Equestrian Games last year in Tryon, North Carolina. So we like the competition part of it and train the horse to competition. We have a long-standing history as far as an equestrian center being part of the community. North Texas Equestrian Center was the most successful barn at the London Olympics. We have the para program. We're doing para dressage for handicapped riders out here. We incorporated Texas Therapeutic Riding Center into this place last year. So we have a big Wounded Warrior program going out here. The facility is very large. We have 2 indoor riding arenas, 4 outdoor riding arenas. We have 5 instructors working out here. So we have a very large youth program. So we start kids from age 6. I've been to the Junior Olympics, the North American Young Rider Junior Championships, I think 11 times with the riders from here. They represent the United States there, and we train students all the way from dead beginner to Olympic level riding, and we're the only one in Texas actually that does that. We won 4 medals at the World Championships. This is a very, very big deal, and I won more medals as chef de keep with the U.S. para team than the team has in the entire existence of the sport for 30 years. But London was an awesome experience because the first time we put the handicapped riding on the international stage, and we had a very good competitor out there, and it was a great experience out there.
This has been Kayla Brokaw reporting for Blue Eye News.
Up next, we get to see what goes into Anika Tasnim's artistic work. Here's Elizabeth with all you need to know.
You might have seen students on campus carrying big folders, but those are actually portfolios to carry artwork around. The students carrying these portfolios are in the AP Art class, and they create a concentration that they would base their art around throughout the year.
My concentration is Greek gods, and I'm doing it because I wanted to do portraits, but putting like a story with it.
Anika has friends who volunteer to model for her portraits, but how does she tie in the Greek mythology with her person?
I try to add a little bit of the model in with the story. So like for Nate, he's very like calm and like cool and somber, which is kind of what Hades is like. So
like anything else, there is a process when creating an artwork.
In the process, it feels awful because like you're constantly tweaking everything and like you think it looks bad because it's not finished and you don't know how it's going to turn out. But when you're finished with it, it's kind of like relief.
Being in the AP art class is much different than any other art class.
There's a lot of freedom in here. It gets like pretty chaotic because of that, and there's like a lot of memories that happen.
And one of those many memories is their office parody, the art class.
So the office is when our entire table group decided that the things that happen in the art class is very similar to the office. So we started our own office, a parody, but it's like ourselves, but like the worst version of ourselves, and it's just hilarious.
Reporting for Blue Eye News, this has been Elizabeth Thomas.
At the end of the day, at the end of your life, you're not going to look back and say, I wish I had more stuff. You're going to say, you know, you're going to want to be surrounded by those people that care about you because you invested in them. My faith is the number one thing that keeps me going. If I'm struggling, I know that God's with me.
On a harder day, the things I guess that would keep me going is just life goes on. I mean, you have to just keep moving forward.
There's always going to be bad things that happen, but there's so much good too. And you don't appreciate the good if you don't experience the bad.
But what keeps me going is knowing that maybe something I did maybe made a difference in our community.
The thing that probably brings me the most joy in my life is spending time with my family.
Ever since I was 12 years old, I got my first magic set, and you could say I'm just a big nerd, but you know, that's what I like. When I go to Las Vegas, I don't gamble, I don't drink, I go see magic shows. So that's what brings me joy.
Some of the most significant things, I think, are the things that impact specific people.
I would say the most significant thing I did in my life was marry my wife.
The things that at the end of my life, I'll look back and be like, I'm proud of that.
I'm Mayor Eric Hogan. This is how I live my dash.
Well, that's all we have for you today, Raiders. And remember, if it happens here,
Be prepared to hear
on Blue Eye News.